So you've taken the time to smock and block your fabric. What comes next? Today I'm going to show you how to sew your smocking into a garment. Now you might think you just sew it in, but if you do that, it will cause the pleats to look very messy. So what you do to help with that, you take it and flip it to the wrong side. And if I had thought about this, I probably would have left that top pleating row in, the one that was a holding row, which would help make this even less messy. But as it is, I forgot, so we're going to do it without it. Then you flip it over to the right side and take a strip of freezer paper. Now you want the shiny side facing down on the fabric, up at the top near that seam. Then you're going to take your iron and just press it onto the back. And this will hold it in place. And you want to let it sit and cool a little bit before you move it. It doesn't take long. It's still warm actually at this point, but it should be enough to hold it in place. If you move it too soon, it will just come apart. And at this point, you're just going to pin it onto whatever you're sewing it to. I just have a scrap piece of fabric here. Now that it's pinned in place, I'm just going to go ahead and sew this seam, probably using about a 1/2 inch seam allowance, but of course it depends on what your pattern calls for.
But now I'm not so sure.
So once the seam is sewn, you just come back and tear the freezer paper off. So you have to tug it off your fabric. And then the stitches have basically perforated the paper anyway, so it should tear off fairly easily. I do find it helps to keep your fingers really close to where you're tearing. And once the first side comes off, the second side should come off with no problem. Sometimes there's a little spot that sticks, but as long as you get it off one side, the other side will come off very easily. And here it is. It basically, theoretically, holds the stitches in place. Like I said, I should have left my holding threads in and forgot. Thank you for watching, and I hope you'll join me next time for another handmade happening.